it says that you're a team leader.
Recording as well.
Is it?
So we'll just, before we start, I'll just apologise to everyone. The recording did stop there at the end of the last session. Not too sure why, but I've just started it back up again. So anybody that did want a copy of the recording at the end, it will be in 2 sections rather than the one.
Yep.
Alright, so before going into session 2, we will just do a quick recap of session 1. Session 1 was all about our participating in informal, formal meetings, sharing information with the group, a lot about teamwork and handling information by clients. So what again was our main focus on with our information? We're putting them into our documentation, like into our spreadsheets and stuff.
Yeah.
And what's the main reason for that? Why do we have this information apart from obviously collecting and storing our client information? What is the main thing of the importance of putting all the relevant information in there?
So your team knows where you're up to.
Yeah,
So your team can follow on from where you left off.
Yeah, exactly. We want to make sure that as we had the example, one person's sick, the next person knows where we're kicking off from. We also discussed the point of bullying and discrimination. So obviously, you may have personal feelings about someone, but in the workplace, we're not here to talk about people behind their back. We're not here to make sly remarks at people. We're here to support each other. We support each other as a team. We communicate effectively with each other. If someone like Adam, for example, who doesn't come from a non-English speaking background, it might be a bit harder to understand him from time to time. We might find that he's struggling to communicate with someone on the phone, so a customer. We're not there to laugh and mock that person, we're there to support him. If we feel that Adam needs support, we offer the support. If he doesn't take it, he knows that it's there. Alright, so let's kick on with session 2. And this is all about improving work group processes. So in this session, we're going to clarify our individual workplace responsibilities. We did that in session 1. The reason it's in there again is because this session does once again evolve from our work group responsibilities. Participate in informal meetings, another thing we did in session 1. Support team members to meet work group goals, contribute to workplace goals and tasks, share work group related information, plan strategies for team performance, identify potential work group issues, problems and conflicts, and suggest possible ways of dealing with identified work group place issues. So as you may see, some of these are from session 1. You'll also find some of them will be in session 3. As I just said, the reason for that is because all of this ties into our teamwork, communication, and meeting client needs. That's why you'll see them multiple times. Okay, so our role. We're conducting day-to-day sales calls. To be able to do your job on a daily basis, you'll be given a lot of instruction. Your instruction will come from your team leader, instruction will come from our clientele. Ideal instructions will include answers to these questions. What do I have to do? So, for example, you're selling a product. What do I have to do to sell this product? Where will I be doing it? Obviously, we're in our office. When will I be doing it? So it might be as simple as someone calling up to discuss the product, but at the same time, that might not be the most appropriate time. If that person is time poor or is a large customer, a large sale, we might be moving that meeting to a more formal meeting, an in-person one-on-one. It might be pushed forward to our management. Who will be doing it and how will I be doing it? So all of those questions is how we conduct our phone calls, how we do our sales calls. The most important thing about receiving instructions is that you understand clearly what needs to be done. To do this, you'll listen carefully, ask as many questions as you need to, pay extra attention to safety issues, and ask for help straight away if you realise that the instructions don't make sense when you get started on the task. So does anyone want to take a stab at in the dark as to what those mean? Like why do we need to why do we need to understand what needs to be done in order to sell our products?
If you've got a client who wants a certain product,
Mm-hmm.
if you don't listen to what they want or need, then you're not going to be able to find the product for them. So you want to ask them as many questions as you can
Yep.
that relate to that product, to make sure that in the long run you're giving them exactly what they need.
It's also showing that you're engaged with them.
100%. So what we're going to do now is we're going to conduct a group activity. Our group activity is going to be we're going to work in pairs to start with. So I'll get you two to work together and you two to work together. And what we're going to do is one person is going to be on the phone as a customer, the other person is going to be the client. So you're going to be, so Kath, let's just say you're the customer first, you're going to be calling up. Adam, you are going to be selling a new phone. Same on this side, you're going to be the customer, you'll be the salesperson, you'll be selling a new phone. Then what we're going to do, we're going to do that for about 5 minutes, and then swap roles, and then we're going to come back together as a group, and we're going to discuss how it went, any points which we could use to to give to our opposing people, so that way when we're actually doing this in real time, where we actually all have each other's feedback, so it might actually work better as a team in sales. Everyone, any questions or everyone understand? Yeah. Alright, so let's get together. You're in so we use you two to be the customers and talk to your customer, normal greeting, call them up, hi, how you going, what can I do for you today, such and such.
Let's do
Hello, this is
for example. So you call me and
Yes, my name is Rhonda,
direct me
and
to,
I want to buy a new phone. I want to
you
know
want
the
to buy a
various
mobile phone.
phones. I
Welcome to
just
Harvey
need
Norman.
something that is fairly
Welcome to
basic.
Harvey Norman. My name is Adam. How may I help you?
I'm after a new phone. I'd like
As
to
long as I dig
to
as-
Samsung.
as-
Yep.
Yes,
that's
I
what I've
do.
got at the
I
moment.
don't like the
Good
internet very
product.
much.
Yep.
But yes, I do need to
I want
connect
something
to
a
the
little
internet.
bit better than what I've got at the moment. And I don't want to pay that much more than what I paid before, but something that's going to have a little bit more memory and
Okay, that's
not
absolutely
something too fancy,
Yep.
but around the $600, $700 mark.
Okay.
What have you got on offer?
Well, firstly, can you tell me what model you currently
No, I
have?
think something
Okay, it's
just
a Samsung,
normal size, yeah, I'm okay as far as that
Look,
goes.
I'm not sure of the
Um,
model number. I think it was a HP 500.
In my handbag.
Very
Yes, yeah, I don't usually carry it in my pocket, but I
It's
have
been a
that,
good
yes.
phone, but it's time for an upgrade.
So, what sort of,
Yeah, not a problem.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the market at the moment,
now,
Samsung
we're
currently
looking at
has
anything,
their next
up to
generation
a
mobile
couple of
phone,
thousand
the
dollars.
Samsung
Do you want to keep it
S25.
in the
Okay.
lower
There's about
price
7 or 8
range?
different
look,
models
I don't really,
in that,
it
but
doesn't
those
really matter
are
if
well
it's
and
not
truly
the
above
most
that
modern
budget
phone.
range. What,
You know,
what
like it
releasing
can
a new
be
model has
the
done
last,
was bring the previous model
not
down
the
in price.
latest
So at the moment,
edition,
we
it can
have
be the last one or
A9,
something, I don't really wanna spend
the
anything more
A36,
than about
Yeah.
$1,000.
the A42.
Yes.
So yeah, I think that Samsung
All of
is
those
really good
yeah,
for you.
come in
And we have a lot
multiple
on
models.
special at the moment that are coming to
Storage-wise,
discontinued
if
because
you
new
do take a
ranges
lot
are
of
coming out.
photos,
No,
So
you
maybe
can
one of
save a lot
those
of
would help you.
videos,
Yeah.
And they
etc.
still work as
You
well
do?
as the
Okay,
new
well,
ones
what I
coming
would
out.
suggest
More
is
I
photos
think
rather
would
than
help you.
videos.
Okay,
Okay.
so
Yeah.
does it,
Well,
does
what
it
I would
have,
suggest is
does it
probably,
go onto the 5G
if
network?
It does, all of our
If
phones
you're taking lots
do.
of photos,
So you should be right to connect
do
with
you
our
personal
modern
photos or holiday type
photos.
photos?
Excellent,
overseas?
excellent.
Bit
And,
of everything?
um,
Bit of everything,
and,
Bit of
yeah.
everything? Okay.
So
What
Do you know
about,
what your
you've
current
got
memory is
different
on your mobile phone?
plans that go
Oh,
with
We
the
have
plan?
different
I
plans.
can't remember off the top of my head.
Are you in the city or
No,
rural?
I'm a
Yeah,
rural
I
area,
can't
so I
remember that
really
detail,
need something
but-
reliable
Judging by
because it's
that
my main contact.
model, I
Yeah.
think that it came in a 64 gig and a 128.
And I know that I do have a lot of photos on there at the moment.
Okay.
So it has been a good phone to hold
Well,
photos and that memory.
The good thing about Samsung and all
Oh,
mobile
okay.
phones
So it's
now
very
is
reasonable.
Yeah,
when they
can go
first
right up
started
to
with
cost.
smartphones
So do you want me to
were
just let you know
unable,
the
you had to
price
transfer
range
everything to a
of
computer
our
and
Yeah.
then
ones that are
from the
going out
computer
of
transfer
stock?
it back to
Yeah, I
your
think
mobile
so,
phone.
I
Yeah.
think so,
But with,
and something, the
your
plan,
technologies,
Yeah.
what
you
you're
know,
able to
round
do is
about, I can afford
plug
probably
your old
about,
phone into your new phone and do
$50
what's
a
called a
month.
synchronized
Yeah,
that's
transfer,
very good.
and that
Yeah.
just
That's very
transfers everything straight into the new
So
mobile
you
phone.
can connect to
That's
a
what I
various
want.
amount
Yeah.
of,
What I would suggest is
yeah.
probably the A36 model. It
Right.
comes in a,
Yeah.
256
I think
gigabyte
this
memory.
one
Okay.
will be
Or
very good
512.
for you. Okay. So
What
let me
that
take
does
down
is
your information.
transfers
and
everything we've already got
we can go
over.
from
Yeah.
there.
Gives you a
Okay.
better camera to take better photos,
Right,
but also gives you
Alright, we've got
lots of
60 more
storage.
seconds and then we'll wrap it up.
okay.
So
Okay.
And make
that one is
the final
Oh,
sale.
the other thing too
Right.
is,
you can
you know,
also
I
get
like,
on
I
a
like things that are a little
Yep.
bit colourful. Do
payment
the phones
or
come in
buy
different
outright.
colours?
Okay.
You
You
do
already have
basically
a
get
provider.
a navy
Optus.
or a
Yes, I
black.
do,
Oh,
yes,
okay.
There
yes.
is
Well,
a
they
couple
do
Yeah.
through
that will
Home,
come
we
in
do
silver,
offer the,
but you can get a cover.
Oh,
offer
So
okay.
you have
silver.
various
Right.
colour covers that
If
you
you were looking at
protect,
changing
Yeah.
the
and
plan
you can
as
get
well,
whatever
or
colour
you're
or
happy
pattern
with that.
that you like.
Yeah,
And
no,
we'll
I think
throw
I'm
that
very
in
happy
as a
with the
bonus.
plans
Oh,
that we've got on at the
excellent.
moment.
Just the device
Yeah.
itself.
Yep.
I can
Would you like,
actually put on
extra product
screen
here
and
with that?
send you a picture of
It depends
all the
on what-
different
what,
colours.
30 seconds.
And you can let me know
Yeah.
which
But
one
it-
you like.
yeah, I
and we'll
probably
send
would
it to
take
you
that
at
up.
the
You get the
same time.
manufacturer's
That sounds
warranty, which is
really
3
good.
So do you
years.
think
And
that
each product
you're
here,
going
you get an
to
extra
sign
2.
up and
Right, okay.
But if you don't feel that you need that,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Three
yeah, I'll
manufacturer
pay with my
warranties,
credit card and then
That's all you
can
need.
I
Yeah, probably
have
just the 3 years.
monthly
Okay,
fee
no problem.
direct
Yeah,
debit
and I
on
won't,
my
I won't,
account?
That makes it
do a
very
payment
easy
plan
for
or
you
anything,
and
I've got
for
the
us.
cash to
And
pay
it's
for
a
it
quick and
outright.
easy
and-
way
And what
to
about
get
a
started.
screen
Oh,
protector
wonderful.
or
So
a
do
case?
you
Oh,
think the
definitely.
50
Most
dollar
definitely.
Alright,
Yes.
let's stop there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I've just bought a new phone.
Yeah, so have I.
Alright, so we're going to start with our 2 callers.
Yeah.
So, Kathy, we'll get you to start if that's alright.
Yeah,
How
no.
did you feel your conversation went? Did
Excellent.
Adam meet your needs? Did he
Yeah.
discuss different options? How did
Yes,
it go?
yes, we covered everything. I told him the phone that I've got at the moment and what I want to upgrade to. And he covered everything from the memory to
Camera
the
qualities.
camera qualities, the price, the screen
Cases,
protector, the
screen
cases,
protectors.
and everything.
Yeah.
Yes,
So I
it's
heard
quite big.
I heard Adam discussing with you different models as well.
Yes, yes.
Obviously, we work in the business where we sell these products, so we do know a bit more about it. But
Yeah.
as let's just say you're someone that has no idea about it,
Right.
when he's talking about the different models, was it easy for you to understand the information he was passing
Oh,
across to you?
absolutely. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
And I noticed he didn't like try to make you feel not stupid, but you didn't
Yeah.
feel like you didn't know what he was talking about at any stage?
No, I knew,
Mhm.
I have sort of done my homework a little bit, you know,
Mhm.
at home and on the internet and,
Yep.
and having a look at different phones, and so he covered all that for me.
All right, over to this group. Rhonda, how did you feel?
Yeah, no, it was a very positive experience,
Mhm.
and gave me the options of purchasing a phone that was the latest edition. We worked out that I'd probably a Samsung would be the type of phone that I'd need, and I've dealt with Samsung phones before.
Mhm.
She gave me the option of the latest Samsung, which is quite expensive, or one that was only just going out of, not the latest edition one. She also asked me if I was in a rural or a city where I live, because that's very important. And I said I lived in a rural place where you have to rely on your phone,
Mhm.
and said, gave me the reasons why I would need a good, be able to connect to the 5G network and need Bluetooth, etc. And
So when you put across your need that you worked in lived in rural area,
Yeah.
and was able to communicate with you like the best provider for that
That's
area,
right.
she gave you the best information for your
exactly,
choices.
and I did ask her about that. I said, would she be able to lead me in the direction of the best provider for the rural area, and she also was able to tell me the colour range of the phones that I was looking at,
Mhm.
and I like things a little bit bright, so she was able to throw in a nice colourful case free of
fantastic.
charge, which
Yeah.
I was very impressed with. So
Fantastic.
yeah, it met all my needs.
Alright, so rather than swapping over, what we're going to do is we're going to go to our next slide, and our next slide is active listening. The reason we're going on to this is because I feel like you guys got a pretty fair grip of what the activity we just did, excuse me. Obviously we all work in sales, so everybody has a great understanding of your roles and responsibilities. So active listening to the customer. Does anyone know what active listening is? Anyone want to have a
Well,
quick
you're
stab
fully
at it?
engaged with the,
Yeah,
that
100%.
person, yeah.
It's when you're fully engaged. So tips for active listening include looking at the speaker. So I did see that. Obviously, we simulated that we're on the phone call, so you can't always look. But if we're in meetings or something like that, we actually have our clients all come in and conduct a sit-down meeting with us, a sit-down formal meeting, then that is an excellent point. Looking at the speaker. Give the speaker your full attention. So I can see that you guys were doing that in your little activity that we just did. Listen for the main ideas. So you said your main ideas you had in there about the different models and stuff and upgrading to the new network. You're one that you lived in the rural area and that you like colourful phones. So listening for those main ideas so you can give them the best options. Be aware of non-verbal cues. Anyone have any idea what your non-verbal cues may be?
Oh, maybe when they're talking and you're talking to them and all of a sudden they go quiet. It gives you an idea that what you were talking about it might not be
What they want.
What they want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's a bit harder on the phone, but it's more in person. So non-verbal cues might be you're discussing someone with someone and they're standing there listening to you, and the next minute they're on their phone. Or they're looking at their watch going, oh, come on, is this ever going to end?
Yeah.
So you want to keep the listener engaged, so you want to look out for those non-verbal cues. Keep your personal opinion out of it. So you may not like Samsung phones, you may be an iPhone person, but that person may be a Samsung person. We don't want to be trash talking Samsungs to try and sell them an iPhone when realistically that's not what they want. We want to give them what they want, but at the best deal we can give them. We want them to be satisfied with their product, not try and sell something that they don't want. Let the speaker finish. So that's pretty obvious. We're not going to be interrupting people. Sometimes it is appropriate to interrupt. So for example, if Kath, if you're trying to tell me something, but you're just a little bit stuck on the idea,
Yep.
prompt. So you might be like, oh yeah, that new phone, the you're talking about the iPhone. Oh yeah, that's the one.
Yep.
So that's different than interrupting someone. Let the speaker know you're listening. Good eye contact. A perfect way to let them know that they're speaking is to reiterate what they say. So if they're on the phone, they're saying to you, yep, I want the iPhone i70, I want this. So just confirming it's the i70 you want in the black colour. Oh yes, that's correct. And take notes. Adam, I saw you taking your notes over there. So that's what we want to do. And who can guess another reason? It's something we do every day in our workplace with our information. Why else do we take notes? Because with those notes, what do we need to do with them?
Put them into the database.
Put them into our database. So we need to know the person, their personal, not all their personal information, just their name. If we're sending a delivery out to them, their address, phone numbers, contact details, and then what they want. Because next time if they call up and they're saying, oh, my phone's just died, well then you want to be able to go, oh, okay, well, I see here you had the iPhone i70, you had it this. Have you implemented the new software? Have you done this? Have you done this? Oh no, I haven't done that. Give that a go. They do it. Oh, thank you. You're a lifesaver. All right. Any questions on active listening and about the task that we just did?
No, this is it.
Yep. Everyone satisfied?
Yep.
Happy? Cool. Alright, asking questions to the customer. So this is something else we just did, and I did see that. So both of you were very excellent in this. You were doing the whole active listing, which we just discussed, and you're asking the customer the information. So we ask questions to get more information. We find out what they need, find out what they want, because you have a difference between needs and wants. Needs is what they need. You live rural, you need a good service provider, you need to be able to connect to the 4G network. What you want, a pink phone, a black phone. Clarifying information. So once again, that is Kathleen's asking for this model of the Samsung phone. Adam's saying, yep, okay, this model provides this. Clarifying the information that model comes with. Kathleen might turn around and say, oh, but I want it to be able to do this. That's when Adam can turn around and say, well, this model might be your best. And then clarify what about that model is tops over the other model. Get your details. We just went into that. A lot of the details is for not only just providing the best product there is, but also for putting that information into our database. So that way, as we went through in our first session, everybody knows what that client wants. Prepare your information. This person is, if it's on the phone, it's a lot easier. So we've got our consoles in front of us at our main desk in the office. This person calls in, says, this is what I'm looking at. You bring up your information from our catalogue. Your company has the catalogue with what you sell. You have that information prepared, ready to go. Confirm your instructions, so confirm with them what they want, what they're looking for, and learn from it. The reason we did that group activity is to learn. We had our first group sit down, talk about what they want. Kathleen just gave her points about what she got out of it. The same with you two. Rhonda brought up her points about what she did with it. From that, we can learn as a group and go, oh, hang on. Kath and Adam did it this way, but Rhonda and Andy did it this way. Maybe I'll try it this way in the future, and it might work for me.
Yep.
All right, so that brings towards an end of that session. From that session, we clarified our individual workplace responsibilities. We did that as the team, the group. Participate in the informal meetings. So pretty much what we went through was an informal meeting. We sat around, we conducted an informal meeting about our activity that we did. Contribute to workplace goals and tasks accordingly. Share work-related information. The big one for our sharing of work-related information is our spreadsheets and our databases. If we're putting our information into those, that is an easy way to be able to share it. Adam can speak to Anne and say, hey Anne, I've got such and such client on the phone. What's their product that they purchased? Or what's this? Anne can go to our Excel document page, such and such. Adam brings it up. Oh, sweet, there's all their information. plan strategies for team performance and improvement, identify potential work group issues, problems and conflicts. So we didn't go too much into conflicts. We were going to look at it a bit more. Our next session is purely about conflict in the workplace, and then also conflict with our customers over the phone. Because our group activity works so well, I decided we're not going to go too much into conflict with that. We'll just save that purely for the next session. And suggest possible ways of dealing with identified workplace issues. Once again, we'll do that in the next session. Alright, so we're about to have another 15-minute break, but before that, does anyone have any questions to bring up at all? Anyone want to discuss anything about that session we just did?
No, it was very good. I mean, I know all this, you know, I've worked in this sort of situation before, but I did pick up a few little tips from that exercise, yeah.
Adam, you look a bit confused. What?
I'm just a little bit confused about how we as a group collect the information, put it in the database together when it's an individual task. How do we all access that together?
Yep, so obviously all of you have your individual logins for your system. So I assume you guys all use the SharePoint system, don't you, for collecting information and gathering it. So what you do is you can actually, when you do your SharePoint information, it's kind of like your Facebook or your Instagram social medias, you can tag certain people. So you put it into that folder, tag that list of users that can access that. So for example, you have your individual workplace goals of having to get their client information. You have to use that information to sell them the product. But all up, it's the workplace goals are completely different. Whereas they want to, you know, attract new clients or attract new customers. So you can use your individual sale to add to the workplace goals of how much revenue they make throughout the whole year. Is that what you're talking about, or you more so mean sharing information between your?
No, that pretty much answers the question.
Yeah. So pretty much, we have these. Or sorry, you guys have these spreadsheets, these documents, so that way you can share information with your other peers. You can share it with your team leader in case you get a bit confused about something. So at any stage, if you, let's just say you're getting inundated with work, you're just completely getting bombarded. Anne has no clientele at the moment, she's not getting any calls, she can say, Adam, what can I do? She tags you in this spreadsheet, she goes, can you please make this call? And you know, this is what this customer wants, can you please look after it for me?
That explains it perfectly, thank you.
Alright, so what we'll do is we'll jump up, we're going to leave the recording going, and we'll have our 15-minute break, so we'll move out of the room and come back in 15 and do our last session.
Thank you.
Mac,
Still going? Yep.
I just wanted to ask you something.
Yes.
Where I work, we do things a little bit differently, and we like to do individual communication, whereas you like to do a group thing. Do you think that I should be doing it more as a group, or stick to my way of doing it in just individual?
So as in, like, let's just say yourself and Adam, if Adam's, at the end of the day, if he wants like a debrief or something, like, or if there's an issue,
Yeah.
you prefer
Yeah,
one-on-one?
sort of, I
Yeah.
prefer to do it one-on-one. What is your take on it,
Yeah.
you know?
If that's what works for you and your team,
Yeah,
then continue doing it that
yeah,
way.
because we are only a small team and,
But what I find, and more so just for communication amongst the team,
Right.
like it's obviously if it's a disciplinary issue, then
right,
one-on-one's probably the best place
Yeah.
because it's not meant to be
Yeah.
shared amongst the team. But
Yeah.
for day-to-day debriefs, for general information, I find that if you have these sessions as a collective,
right,
then let's just say you're discussing with Adam a call he made through the day or a new client. He may have certain strengths or weaknesses which, you know, you do it one-on-one because you don't feel comfortable sharing it. But
right,
the thing is, the other two members of the team, they may have the same strengths or weaknesses.
right.
So when you're discussing them, they might say, oh, hang on, I'm doing it that way as well. So
Okay,
while Kathy's presenting it to Adam, that person go, oh, well, I do the same thing, so I need to take that on board. Or
yeah,
Adam's weakness might be something to do with IT, and that might be a strength for Anne. So
right,
then Anne can go, well, I'm actually really strong at that,
Yeah.
so I can show you how I do it.
Yeah.
And that way, Anne's strength
Yeah.
will then become Adam's strength, rather than
Right.
it being a weakness. So she can peer, like,
Yeah.
do a one-on-one session with him and go, this is how I do things, and it may be easier for Adam.
Yeah.
So the reason we do it as a
Yeah.
collective rather than one-on-one is so that everyone can understand the information
Yeah.
and everyone can learn, not from everyone's mistakes,
Yeah.
but just learn it from our day-to-day activities together.
okay, thank you for that.
But it's completely, if it works better for your team to do it
Yes.
one-on-one,
Yeah.
that I just present it as a team activity because I feel it's better for team
Yeah,
progression.
right, so depending on the issue at hand,
Yeah,
yeah,
100%.
okay, very good.
Alright, so we are now into our final session. Session 3, problems, issues, problems and conflict. Sorry, resolve issues, problems and conflict. So going over our last session, we went into active listening. Who can give me a quick recap of what active listening is? Because that actually goes a long way in dealing with customer conflict.
Listening to your client and their needs.
Yeah, 100%. Anyone else want to add anything to that?
If they're in the office,
Mhm.
Eye contact.
eye contact,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
focusing on what
Yeah.
they
Don't
Yep.
interrupt.
yeah,
Non-verbal cues.
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, we just want to show active listening. We want to show that we're listening to that person. We want to bring up main points again, and just ensure that we give that person the best options that we have, and that we're giving them the best deals and products that we have. So resolving issues, problems, and conflict. I've got another handout here which we can use. We are going to be doing a group activity soon, so this handout will actually really help with that group activity. In this, we're going to participate in informal meetings, something which we've done in the last few sessions as well. Plan strategies for team performance improvement within the work group. So we'll be doing a lot of that within our activities today. Identify advantages of difference in values and beliefs. Respond to any linguistic and cultural differences in communication style according to our legislation, organisational policies and procedures and ethical standards. Identify potential work group issues, problems and conflicts encountered in the workplace. Seek assistance from supervisors to address problems and conflicts that arise and suggest ways of dealing with identified workplace issues. So has anyone here ever actually experienced any conflict, whether it's amongst peers in the workplace or over the phone before? Anyone that wants to just give a quick example of that so we can use that going forward?
Yeah, I had one quite a few years ago. I was working for a small credit union and I was doing lending, and I was doing a car loan for a member, who came in, and I had to go over the contract with her, and she just did not understand the contract at all and became quite abusive to me. I ended up having to talk to my supervisor and get her to take over the interview. And I don't know if it was a personal conflict we had, but it was not a very pleasant.
So out of curiosity, was this person English speaking or non-English speaking?
No, she was English speaking.
Good.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it was just she had some personal issues at the time, and she brought that into the interview that we were having, which shouldn't have arisen. It was quite unpleasant.
All right. So, and do you remember a lot of what that person said to you, and how the tone that she used?
Yes, I was a little bit fragile at the time because it was not long after I had a family loss, and she wondered why I was getting a little bit emotional. And I said to her that I had a family loss, and she said, made fun of the situation and said, well, we've all had losses in our lives, and which didn't help the situation at all, and that's why I had to call in the supervisor.
Right. So, what stemming from that, and as our topic, our session is all about resolving issues, problems, we're going to do a group activity. We're going to have one person act as the customer. As you've had a very good example, I'm going to get you to be the customer, and I'm going to get Adam to be our calls person. Not so much for any other, like, without sounding like it's a bullying or discrimination, but because you'll find that a lot of people get really frustrated when they're dealing with people of non-speaking English backgrounds. Adam, you have no issues with being the person on the phone, do you?
Not at all.
And hopefully from this, you'll be able to come up with different ways of, if you ever experience that in the workplace, of handling it. So what we're going to do is, you guys are going to be on the call, as we were just going through mobile phones in the last session. I'll get you to do the same thing again.
Okay.
So you've called up the company to purchase a mobile phone. Throughout this conversation, you start throwing out accusations perhaps, or you may even try to, without going over the top, make fun of, or the fact that you can't understand what he's saying. Just let it roll and see how you go. What we're going to do as the bystanders is, mainly you two, I'll jump in and intervene if I have to, is we're going to stop the conversation as soon as we start to feel that there's some conflict, some kind of issue presenting, and then discuss how Adam can proceed with that. Sound good?
So I don't understand, you mean how Adam can bring it back to a nice normal sales?
Yeah, 100%. So we've got our handout here,
Right.
dealing with customer conflict. So stay calm and professional is point
Right.
number 2.
Yeah.
So we'll go through this quickly first, actually, so that way. So handout, dealing with customer conflict. So listen actively. We went through active listening previously. So resolving conflict, to pay attention to callers' needs. So what are they saying? How are they saying it? Ask open-ended questions, paraphrase. Stay calm and professional. This means controlling your emotions, the tone of your voice, your choice of wording. Avoid getting defensive and angry. Be polite and respectful, and show patience. Identify the root cause. So what's the problem? What does the caller want, need, expect out of these situations? Does this clarify questioning, summarise main points, and acknowledge their feelings? Offer solutions, so propose a realistic, fair, and mutual solution. Use positive, constructive language. Confirm the agreement, so confirm that both parties are understand and accept the solution. And follow up, so check in with the person. So the follow up may not be at the moment, like the follow up could be as simple as, this is what you want, this is what you're getting, or it could be, if it's something bigger, and it's like a formal meeting between the two of you, it could be something like a couple of days later. Are you happy with the product you purchased? Is there anything else I can do with you?
Okay.
All right, so Rhonda, if you want to give Adam a call and discuss with him purchasing a mobile phone.
Okay. Hello,
Welcome to Sales Services. My name is Adam. How may I help you?
I'm after a new phone.
Okay, what sort of phone were you looking at?
Well, I live in a rural area.
Yep.
I want something reliable because
Yep.
it's my only outside contact.
Okay.
I want something with good camera quality.
Yep.
I like to take lots of photos.
Yep.
I don't want anything too expensive.
Okay.
What have you got on offer?
First question that I'll ask is, what current phone do you have? Is it a Samsung? Is it an iPhone?
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Is it a Samsung or is it an iPhone?
Samsung.
Samsung.
Yeah, my current phone's a Samsung.
Okay, not a problem. Do you know the current model of your phone?
Oh, it's years old. I don't know. I
Years
don't
old?
know.
Okay, not a problem. So at the moment, the Samsung model S25 has just released.
I don't want to just release phone. I want something that's going to cost me too much money.
Okay,
I
not a
want
problem.
something a little bit cheaper.
Okay,
What other options?
So camera quality is of your top priority with memory, I'm assuming, as well as rural.
Yep.
Okay, so what I can suggest, what sort of price range were you looking at?
Oh, look, I don't want to pay more than $1,000,
Okay.
and I want a plan that's fairly reasonable.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you
Not a
mean by
problem.
okay?
Uh,
Okay, you can do that, or okay?
I'm just taking down the details
Okay, all right.
that you're giving me.
All right.
What I can offer you is the Samsung A9. That is just the model number. That comes with.
Look, I don't really care about the model numbers and things. Just tell me, is it very expensive?
No, that phone currently sits at $899.
Okay.
It has a very good camera.
What colour is it?
It comes in very many colours. It
Okay.
goes from just your standard black right through to.
Listen, I just can't understand you. Are you from another country?
I am from another country, yes.
Well, listen, just try and speak a little bit slower so I can understand you a little bit better, please.
I do apologise for the language barrier. I am from a non-English speaking country. Look, if
I'm not racist or anything, you know. I'm
No,
the
no,
last person who's racist, but, you know, I just would like to, maybe I should speak to your supervisor.
that's not a problem, I can forward you on to the supervisor if that need be.
All right then, okay, well, what's this phone you're trying to sell me?
Okay, so the phone that's $899, it has 5G network compatibility for your rural needs.
Okay.
It also has a very good camera that rivals the newest editions of these phones.
Yeah,
And the memory will more than satisfy your needs.
okay, all right. Well, it sounds pretty good, but how about a plan?
So, are you a internet user?
Oh, look, I use a little bit of internet.
Just a
but
little bit? Okay,
Yeah.
so the current deals that we have at the moment, $30 a month gives you 50 gigabytes
And who's
of
it
data.
with?
That's with Optus.
I don't like Optus.
Don't like Optus?
No, I don't want Optus.
Okay, well there are other providers, Telstra, Spintel,
Oh, look.
varying
I
in
want one
price.
that's going to be reliable.
Well, I think that Telstra would probably be your most reliable.
You
They're
sure?
Australia's biggest
I am in a
network.
rural area.
They do cover the
Oh,
most
look, I
areas.
just can't understand. I've got to talk to your supervisor. I'm sorry, I just
Not a
can't
problem,
understand
madam. I'll transfer you straight to the
you.
supervisor.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Alright, so let's pause it there. You're a horrible person to speak to on the phone. I wouldn't want to speak to you. That was fantastic. That was a fantastic job you did. Yeah. So Adam,
Sorry, Adam.
so the exercise there was to try and stop Adam at certain points of conflict, but I'm assuming the same as me, you both thought he was doing a great job.
Yes.
So we're going to look back at our active listening that we spoke about in the previous session. You're doing all that. You're paraphrasing on all the, it actually has it in here as well on point number 3, I believe it is, about paraphrasing. So when the customer was calling through saying, oh, I don't like Optus, I want Telstra. Okay, so you want Telstra. You're confirming exactly what she wants, so that way, yes. That's perfect. That's exactly how we can help to de-escalate conflict, because we're listening to that person and just making sure that they know what they want and that we can confirm what they want. Obviously there was that language barrier that the customer called up about, and she said, at first stage, I want to talk to someone else because, you know, I can't understand what you're saying. Now, first, Adam, he didn't tiptoe around it, but he pretty much said, okay, you can speak to someone else if you need to, but I can still like offer you this if you need, and it seemed to be all right.
Mm.
And then got to the point where she's like, nah, that's it, I want to speak to someone else. So, going forward to our supervisor, what kind of things would we be passing over to our supervisor, or would we just, you know, maybe pass the call over to Anne, or what are we going to do with that situation?
I think just if the language is the problem and it's not the information that's being passed across, then anybody else who could speak better English would probably be able to do the job.
Yeah.
Every bit as good as the supervisor.
I think
Yep.
sometimes a person like that is not going to, as soon as they hear an accent, they don't want that. They
Absolutely.
want
Yep,
to
yep.
speak to someone.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they're the problem, not,
Yeah.
Mm.
yeah.
So our next slide we have here is dealing with customer conflict. So we're not going to move on from that group activity just yet. We're just going to have a quick look through this and then we'll go back to it. So pretty much similar to what's in our handout that I gave to you. Conflict can occur when one person's opinion differs from another's. You know, try the following when you're in a conflict situation. State the problem as you see it and stick with the facts. So there was a various different problems there. One was that the customer didn't like Optus. So Adam brought up, okay, well the facts are Telstra is the best provider for rural phone calls. So when she said, oh well, is Telstra going to work? Is it reliable? Yes, Telstra is reliable. Let the other person have their say and don't interrupt them. There was a couple of times there where it was borderline interrupting, but that's only because you were trying to get the facts across. You were trying to say, yeah, you want this much memory for taking pictures and videos and stuff, well this is what this phone has. Don't use aggressive or abusive behaviour, you're perfect with that. So even when she didn't really, the customer didn't insult you, but it was borderline. It was aggressive behaviour. You may or may not have felt insulted by it, but even during that you still remain calm, you still try to put the customer's needs first by saying, okay, I can hand you over to our supervisor because you clearly can't understand what I'm saying. Don't get, so you weren't being aggressive or abusive, brainstorm solutions. That will be our next step. So obviously throughout that conversation you weren't able to brainstorm solutions. You were able to suggest the alternative, which is what the customer stated about going to your supervisor, but your solutions could be, yes ma'am, I'll put you on hold and transfer you over to my supervisor. You go to your supervisor, you tell her the issue. As per our active listening exercises and for our database and customer collection, you wrote all the information down, exactly what you needed, so that way when you go to your supervisor might say, oh, give it to Anne, for example, because Anne speaks perfect English and she can handle it. If you don't have that information, then that provides another conflict. The person on the phone will then turn around and say, well, I already gave all this information to that person.
yeah.
Why are you asking me this again?
Yeah.
We've already noticed that this person is disheveled, this person, you know, is not a happy customer. So the more information we have that we can pass on to our next person, whether it be the supervisor or a team member, the easier it will be for that person.
Yep.
So that is another reason why we collect information, not just for our database, not just for our customer information sharing, but so we can handle difficult customers a lot easier. Doesn't even have to be a difficult customer, it can be any customer, but that way we're not asking the same questions twice. If the discussion breaks down, consider having another person as a mediator. Well, that's pretty much what we're doing. Adam might break away from that and he can handle the next call. Kath said, no, I'm too busy, so give it to Anne. Anne takes the call and then continues from there, or Kath may go, yep, I can take the call and handle it from there. Alright, so we're going to continue that exercise quickly. We've got about another 3 or 4 minutes, we'll continue. But this time, I'll have Anne. if you can take over
Yeah.
the conversation and close out the sale. So Adam has presented the information to you.
Yeah.
He's told you exactly what she needs, and let's just go from there. Hopefully, the customer is happy that she's speaking to someone who speaks English, and she's happy to make the sale. So let's go from there.
Okay, hello.
Hello, my name's Anne.
Hello, Anne. Oh, you sound better. You sound English.
Yes, I was born and bred here.
That's good. I couldn't understand that other bloke. Look, you know, okay, he had all the information and that I needed,
Yes,
but I just couldn't understand him.
yes.
Yes. Do you have any issue with him?
I don't, but that doesn't matter, as long as you can understand me and we can put your sale to rest.
All right.
Now, so what I've got information here is that you want a Samsung phone
That's right.
and that you are in a rural area.
That's right.
And you are willing to go up to $1,000.
Yep.
The phone he's told you about is $799.
Yep, which sounds really good.
And you're going to be on a $30 plan.
Oh, that's really good.
With
Telstra.
Telstra.
Excellent. I
And
want
it's
Telstra. I
going
don't
to-
want that Optus. I don't like them.
And it's going to give you all the coverage you need.
And what about my
And
photos?
the phone photo on this is going to be clear and beautiful.
Oh, that
You'll be
sounds
able
really
to-
good. And he told me I can have any colour. Is that
You can
right?
have any colour.
Okay, I want a really pretty
I
one.
will throw in at the case for you for
Oh,
nothing.
fantastic.
So it's all going to be nice and clear for you.
Okay.
So-
Oh, thank God I got to
Very
talk
good.
to someone who speaks English properly.
Let's take down your information so
Okay.
we can get it all settled, and we'll have that phone out to you within the week.
Oh,
All right, let's
That
stop
sounds
there.
really good.
So it can be as simple as that. It might not always be. So we may just have a customer who just wants to argue for the sake of arguing, but it could be as simple as Adam's passed on the details to Anne. Anne's got all that information here. I see you wanted this. Yes, that's exactly what I want. Perfect. We've also got that other little de-escalation of, oh, I've had issues with this person. I can't understand what they're saying. Do you have those issues? Well, no, that's not the point. We are trying to get this sale done for you. Perfect. Perfect de-escalation of the situation, confirming the client's needs and making the sale.
Yep.
So do we have any questions with dealing with customer conflict? Everyone pretty satisfied with it?
Yeah, you're always going to have someone that is going to be troublesome in one way or
Yes,
another.
exactly.
And that's where hopefully our team leader comes in, or we can bounce off each other and find a solution.
The key point is, like everything here, communication.
It's-
Yep.
We need to communicate with each other to de-escalate a situation.
And to keep the customer happy.
Exactly. Workplace conflict. So we just went through conflict with customers, so this is more so in the workplace. So amongst each other, you know, we're all human beings. One person might do something which someone else might not like. They might be a noisy eater, they might click on their pen, they might rock on their chair. This here is all about that. So what are some common workplace challenges? So problems with communication and relationships. Communication could be not so much, you know, I can't understand what that person's saying, but it could be, you know, I made this call, you had this person last week, and you didn't hand me over, or you didn't write down this information, so it made me look stupid. Executive uncertainty in changing world. So obviously everything's evolving in the world, we get new technologies, and just uncertainty on where that might lead, you know. You get AI coming in, so a machine's going to be doing sales calls instead of humans in the future, stuff like that. Concerns about technology and innovation, as per number 2. Workplace environment issues, so it could be where you are, where you're located. You know, you might be someone that when they call up, the phone redirects straight to your home. So you might be working from home, whereas everyone else has to go into the office. That could create conflict. Challenges related to employee motivation. One person might be motivated, someone else might not. One person who has no motivation might bring down the rest of the team. Worries about job security and career growth, that's pretty obvious, and training methods that don't meet workforce needs. So hopefully this training does meet our workforce needs. How to deal with challenges in the workplace, keep ahead of the curve, encourage collaboration and improve training opportunities.
So what's it mean by keep ahead of the curve?
So keep ahead of the curve is, you guys work in sales.
Yep.
So you want to have all the latest information or all the up-to-date information for the latest item that you're selling. So if we're
Okay.
selling mobile phones, the newest iPhone might be the iPhone 20.
Yep.
You want to make sure that you're ahead of the curve, that when someone calls up, you already have that information. You're not saying, oh, yeah, I'm not sure, I don't know, or
Yeah.
I need to go look that up. As soon as they call up and say, I want an iPhone 20, you click on your catalogue, iPhone 20 is right there. You can say, this has the, 20G network. I don't know if there is a 20G network, but we've got it. We've got pink phones, gold phones, yellow phones, all that kind of information. Encourage collaboration. So that could be, like we had your question at the start about, if I want to have meetings with personnel one-on-one or as a group, having it as a group can lead to less conflict because you might be giving information across to Adam in a one-on-one. These two don't know about it. They don't know that, you're having this discussion about Adam about this problem.
Yep.
They're having the exact same problem. You can have one discussion instead of three. And improve training opportunities. That's why we're here today. Trying to improve our training opportunities, trying to get more information across to the team members so that way they can perform at a higher standard in their jobs, hopefully. So, when it comes to workplace conflict, what are some of the issues that you guys may experience? You don't have to target people out or anything like that, but what kind of things in your workplace do you feel that conflict may arise in?
Laziness.
Yeah, laziness.
Definitely being in a multicultural country,
Mhm.
language barriers.
Yep. Anything else?
I think it's just, what I did before was because something reminded me of a topic and I was just filling you in on a story I was going to tell and then Rhonda unfortunately had a bite at me for it and things like that happening all the time,
So there are a wide range of things which,
Yeah.
as I said before, everyone's human. Everyone,
Yep.
what you think is funny, someone might find offensive.
Yeah.
So it's that one here, encourage collaboration, is a main one for this. To try and deal with challenges in the workplace, to try and deal with workplace conflict. We want to be able to sit down, that's why we have end of day debriefs, meetings. If you said laziness, so let's just say, Rhonda, you're on the phone to a client, you don't write down all the information, and then the following day Adam has to deal with that client. He looks in the database, that information's not there. So that could be looked upon as laziness, and that can bring down the whole team. So we need to have these workplace meetings, we need to have these little debriefs, whether it's daily, or once a week, once a month, I'm not sure how you guys operate. I would suggest once a week. So you can come together and say, hey, I've done this, I'm not going to be here next week, so if this person calls, this is what they're after, or this person, or just throughout the week, this issue was presented. I do kind of think it's unfair that, you're not washing up your cup after you drink a coffee and it just sits on the counter. I have to go deal with it. Stuff like that. We want to de-escalate, just like with the our challenges with our people on the phone. We want to be able to de-escalate the situation. We're not going to be using aggressive or abusive behaviour. If needed, we can have a mediator. Any questions about that? It's pretty much
Very good.
very similar to on the phone,
Yeah.
but it's just with our peers. So.
Yes.
The final thing is with that as well, you may not feel comfortable talking like Rhonda, you may not feel comfortable talking to Anne, or Anne, you may not feel comfortable talking to Rhonda about, when if she butted in on the thing before. If you don't feel comfortable, that's when you go to your team leader.
Yeah.
Have a chat with your team leader. There's a difference between ratting someone out or dobbing on someone to saying, hey, I don't feel comfortable with this situation happen. How can we make sure it doesn't happen again? Cool. So our session 3 outcomes, informal meetings and information sharing within the work group. So that was in that example with the phone call, Adam's having an informal meeting with Kathleen very quickly, just saying, hey, I've got this person on the phone. And whilst it's just a quick discussion, it's still classified as an informal meeting because you're given the information, she's presenting a solution by going to Anne. Plan strategies, it's a strategy as well. It improves the work group, identify advantages of differences in values and beliefs, respond to any linguistic and cultural differences, so that was a big one there, we had the cultural difference there, we responded to it. And when she was presented with the question, do you have issues? Straight away, put the point back to the sale. Perfect. Identify work group issues, problems and conflicts, seek assistance from the supervisor to address the problem and suggest ways of dealing with identified work group issues. Does anybody have any questions about session 3? Everyone's pretty happy?
Yeah, I'm very happy, thank you.
Learning objectives. So throughout this entire course, we identified individual workplace goals and responsibilities, work collaboratively within a team environment, and participate in conflict resolution within the workplace. Now, I did have a Kahoot questionnaire. I'm not sure if anyone's ever done that. It's just like a little mobile app. Unfortunately, my internet doesn't work here at your work group, so we're not going to be able to complete the questionnaire now. I will be, however, sending the questionnaire for us to do a bit later on. And it's just to check your understanding and stuff like that.
So are we going to have an exam to deal with this afterwards as well? Or just
Not so much an exam. I will be sending through just a questionnaire more so. And it's just to, it's more so just to check your understanding. We'll be putting, it's kind of like, because you can actually use this unit going forward in future courses. It is a unit of an overall course which you can use if you want to do the rest of the course to gain a qualification in the vet sector. So that, not so much exam, but that will give you a competency in this unit which you can take forward in further
Oh, that looks
activities.
good to me, just coming back into the workforce again.
Yeah.
I think that sounds really good. Thank
So,
you.
does anyone have any questions going forward, or those handouts that you've got there for you guys to take home? I do have a evaluation form, so just to, if you guys can fill those out, just to let me know how I went and how much value this session brought towards you. If you want to fill those out, and I'll collect them before you leave. But does anyone have any final questions for me?
No, I just want to say that I thought I knew it all, but I've actually learned something today, so thank you, Matthew.
No worries.
Thank you.
It's very good.
Thank you.
Alright, I'll hand these out. You can quickly do those, and then we'll get out of here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
No worries, thank you.
Thank you for your time.